Parenting paused. We're back again this week to talk about the practical. Now, what I mean by the practical is parenting is actually quite a practical skill set. There are lots of things we got to do right from the get-go. We got to feed the baby. We got to change the baby's diaper. We got to put the baby to bed. We got to do all the practical aspects of parenting. Now, those can be a bit tedious, and yet, this is what we offer, the love of our heart, because we know we have this exquisitely beautiful being that is totally dependent on us for their well-being when they are born. So it's just actually natural and normal that we would do that practical. Now, where it starts to get a little wonky is in the emotional area. And I imagine you know about this, of how that emotional feeding of our children can get quite confusing. So we're going to split those out a bit today, because it's the same thing in teaching our children practical skill sets. If we can teach them practical skill sets, we recognize that skill sets take time, they take repetition, they take support to be able to continue to do them. And yet in our parenting, when we don't feel like we have that time, or our kids aren't getting things done the way we want them to, often we tap into the emotional world, and then we start to emotionally try to teach practical skill sets. Now, think about it for a moment. Have you ever done this? Have you ever been frustrated with your child around a skill set, and then maybe you shame them or blame them or guilt them to try to get them to do that skill set? Well, if you do, it is really probably not about the practical. It really doesn't take that much to learn how to take the trash out, or unload the dishwasher, or do the laundry, whatever the practical tasks are as our children begin to grow. Practically, it's pretty straightforward, it's pretty simple. And yet when our children are not motivated to do those practical skill sets, they would rather most likely be on the computer or playing with Legos or doing their own thing. As they get to that age when we recognize they could do it, but they're not doing it, then we often pull out our emotional wand, and I call it emotional blackmail. And I say that with love because I used that emotional tool. And one of the ways I noticed it was that when my daughter is not home, I take out the recycling. I take out the trash. I don't even think about it. I do the laundry and I clean the house. And yet when she comes home from school, I notice. Do you notice that? All of a sudden I start having this expectation that she is going to do these things, or she should do these things. And then I recognize it turns into an emotional need. That emotional need is to feel supported, to feel loved. But you can hear that. I have that attached to taking out the trash and the recycle. Isn't that crazy? I laugh at myself when I look at this, because that need to feel loved, to be loved, is so separate from any of the practical skill sets that I teach my daughter. And this may be true for you. You're just going to explore this week and just notice if your children don't do a particular skill set and you start telling yourself you need to teach them to be responsible and they need to do all of these things. Just ask yourself, are you getting emotionally triggered? So here's a little tip. So let's say you ask your kids to take the trash out. All right. And then you just have this expectation that they're going to go, sure, Mom, I would love to take the trash out for you. See if you can notice once they don't take that trash out when you ask, and they don't take it out 10 minutes later, then they don't take it out an hour later. and you've been so nice, you've given them time, and you've done all these things. Just notice if you start to get emotionally triggered. And if you do, notice, do you feel helpless? Do you feel powerless? And then do you call on your emotional tools to try to make your kid feel bad to get that need met? Now, if you do, which I imagine some of you are going to notice, I do, offer yourself kindness. Go to your safe seat. If you don't have a practice, go to the website, Pure Joy, and you can download a free copy. But offer yourself kindness for that emotional need that is coming up, that wants to feel appreciated, that wants to feel cared for. Offer that part of you kindness. So then you can healthily separate out that your kid is not threatening you. They're not wanting to take care of you. They're just not so interested in the trash. All right, lovies. So take sweet care of yourself this week. We got a new Pure Joy Parent Coach training coming up soon. So if you have some interest, check it out on the website at purejoyparenting.com. We would love to have you come and join us, and have a beauty week. Thank you for listening to this episode of Parenting Paused. If you enjoyed the episode, do me a favor and share it with your mama friends. You can also leave a review wherever you listen, which will support getting the Pure Joy message out. Come on over to the Pure Joy Parenting Practice Facebook page or join me on Instagram to hear more. And don't forget to download your free copy of the Safe Seat course on the Pure Joy website. And while there, check out the offerings page to go deeper in the Pure Joy work.